So here we sit, inside a building in North Phoenix, inside Paradise Valley Community College, in the great state of Arizona, in America, in land of opportunity, no shortage of ideas, no shortage of capital, no shortage of business systems and philosophies and skill sets that can be learned. We have all the opportunity in the world to make the most out of our lives. There's nothing holding us back other than ourselves, and yet there's a deep, dark secret in this room that nearly 50% of the people don't want to share. It's such an important situation, such a grave scenario that is affecting America right now that the last two presidents that have been in term have put together special commissions to investigate this challenge and to put committees together to identify the problem and come up with solutions for it. What am I talking about? Financial stress, financial worries, financial illiteracy. And if you think back in your lives, where were you taught how to accumulate wealth? Who showed you how to grow your wealth over the course of your lifetime? There is no reason why 50%, according to the Center for Educational Development, the Center for Enterprise Development out of Washington, D.C., that 46% of Arizona residents should be what's called liquid asset poverty, 3 paychecks away from a financial disaster, meaning that if something happened, they'd run into struggles. What does the form of this look like? Financial worries and financial stress? Well, some people have too big of rents, or their cars are financed too much, or they have too big of a house, or their credit card debt is increased too high. This problem is across the country, but guess what? We all smile, we all go to work, and nobody admits that it's happening, and that's the major problem. Now, this should not be happening in America, a land of opportunity where we have all the capital, all the resources, all the money, all the ideas, all the philosophies, all the training, everything we need to be successful. But why are some of us struggling while others are not? Well, that's the reason why I'm here today. I'm here to talk about the solution, talk about the problem. My name is Scott McLaine, and I'm an employee motivator and a financial trainer, and I work with businesses here in Arizona. And in 2016, we're launching a statewide financial awareness and empowerment campaign to bring financial training, financial ideas, and energy and excitement and hope and guidance and skill sets and training into corporate America here in Arizona, into businesses and into the home life of Arizona residents. My background is financial training, but my background really started about 15 years ago in 2000 when I started traveling around the country working with Tom Hopkins International, if you know who he is. We did sales training seminars around the country. We motivated thousands of people at a time every 7 weeks, taught them how to sell and be more effective. I did hundreds of presentations in front of thousands of different organizations. I'm sorry, the other way around. Thousands of presentations, something like that. Thousands of people I got in front of, all business owners, all successful individuals. And you get the idea. Had an opportunity to work with Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and learn from him and interview him and speak to him on stage and open for him. And my all-time mentor in my life, a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, who's the late Jim Rohn, opened up for him in Los Angeles and here in town. Those of you that love Jim Rohn will give it up for him. He was the mentor to Tony Robbins. He's trained international business philosophy around the world, done over 4,000 presentations, and I had an opportunity to learn from him. The reason I'm sharing this all with you is that with all of this success, all of this training, all of these ideas and philosophies, training business professionals around the country for 10 years, coaching national real estate groups, coaching companies, doing training, you think I would have it all figured out, right? But 4 years ago, I had what I call my near-death experience. And those of you know what I'm talking about. I've been through it. And, I was living in Paradise Valley, had a house, had a car, had a pretty much equivalent of a wife, had everything going for me. Okay, we were together for 8 years. I don't mean anything bad by that. We were together for 8 years. We're living, everything's going great. We're walking the dog on Monday morning, on Tuesday morning. We're drinking our coffees. We're visiting Starbucks, $700 worth in 1 year from one card that I realized, making pretty bad financial mistakes. And what happens when you make decisions in your life where your income stops but your bills don't? And I'll tell you what happens. Financial hyperventilation. You wake up at 3 in the morning wondering how you're going to pay your bills at the end of the month. And when the money runs out and there's too much month left at the end of it, where do you go? Who do you seek help from? Do you call upon your friends? Do you call upon the churches? Do you call upon your family? Well, we estranged our family, we estranged our friends, everybody kind of disappeared, and we went through a financial turmoil, and I found myself wondering, how in the hell can this happen to me? I've been in front of corporations all over America, I've trained success. Well, what I found is that it wasn't what I was making, it's what I was doing with what I was making. And that became the cornerstone of financial success for me is what program can I teach? What information can I get across that can empower individuals and make a difference in their lives? And what is the cause of financial unrest? What happens? Why are some of Arizona residents struggling? Well, the reason is because we haven't been taught. Think back in high school. Think back in your home life. Think back in your family. Where were you taught how to accumulate wealth over the course of your lifetime? Where were you taught how money actually works and what you need to do to grow? By the time you're 45 years old, everybody in this room should be well on their way to financial independence. A few $100,000 in the bank, everything's going great. If you don't feel like you're on that track right now, then maybe you're suffering from the same disease. And so many of us won't admit it. We won't talk about it. We don't want to tell our friends. We put on these smiley faces and act like nothing's happening. But it is happening to us. And so with this presentation today, what I'll tell you is that there's hope, there's opportunity, and there's a way to solve this. Now, it's not just about the problem, it's about what we do about that. And life isn't about the mistakes that we have, but it's about how you correct from them. Now, my mistake was I didn't know what I didn't know. I was going through life swinging for the fences, shooting for millions, but not making money, not saving disciplined habits. And so what we've done is we've created a program called Financial Fundamentals, games, lessons, and tools to financially empower your future. And we're calling upon businesses and individuals who want to go through a 30-day challenge to take that challenge. And so each of you on your tables, I want you to look right in the middle of the table. You'll see a piece of sheet that looks like a piece of paper that looks just like this right here. I think they're in the center and they're upside down. Everyone grab one of these. I want to talk about this program right here. Okay, so we all have this. Now what we're doing with our program in 2016 is that we're launching a statewide financial awareness and empowerment campaign. We're calling on businesses and we're challenging them to challenge their employees. This is how we're going to help it. Now, I'm stuck here and my presentation is really dynamic. I need to be moving around, so I'm going to do my best to move around without moving around here. What I'd like you to envision is on this side is financial stress, financial worry. What happens when you're going through struggles? Or what happens to the individual, to the household? Well, what happens is you start having arguments at the home place. You start worrying about which bills should get paid. You start canceling things that you don't want to cancel, a cable or this or that. You start going through fights. Potentially you get into disagreements. Pretty soon it can end up in divorce or even bankruptcy for some individuals if you don't have the ability to get yourself out of it. And that's what happens if we're not educated. And I'll tell you right now, the studies are showing that 50% of Arizona households are heading in that direction. We think that our economy is doing great, but some people aren't doing so great. Now on this side, if you've been trained and you've got the education, what separates these folks from these folks? These folks are accumulating wealth. They're growing their finances. They feel like their balance is growing. They feel like they're heading towards retirement. They're confident. They're able to say yes. They're able to go on vacations. They're able to buy things. They're able to go out and do more. What separates these two folks? When they grow up in the same town, the same community, the same opportunity, the same resources, the same training, the same country, the same capital, the same business ventures, everything's the same. Why are some people in this world and in this town, in this room, doing well with their finances while others aren't? What separates them? Planning, ideas, training, habits. It's not what we're making, it's what we're doing with what we're making. That's the key right there. And so, how many of you, by a show of hands, think that if you did some things differently, you might be able to make a more rewarding financial future than if you didn't? Just by a show of hands. Okay, that's pretty much most of us here. Now, by a show of hands, how many of you want to make next year a whole lot more rewarding than last year? With an enthusiastic response, say, oh yeah! All right, and how many of you want to walk out of this room better looking than when you came in? Say, that's me! All right, I'm in the right place. No, I'm not kidding about that. The more better looking you are, the more money you're going to make. Now, I'm not talking about your looks. I'm talking about your attitude. If you've got the right attitudes towards money, you're going to watch yourselves accelerate there. Whatever you focus on, it's like watering a plant. Whatever we put our attention to, it tends to grow. When we water our mindset with ideas and philosophies and skill sets and training that can help us accumulate more wealth, then if we didn't do that, what do you think is going to happen?
More wealth.
We're going to accumulate more wealth. You can't help but making it happen. And so we have a program. It's a 30-day program. We know that commitment needs to be minor, at least initially. We got to get your feet wet. And so it's a 30-day program where you say, you know what? I do want to make next year a better year. I'm going to take the 30-day challenge. And we run you through Impact, which is a 45-minute mind-awakening, thought-provoking, financial thump-in-the-head workshop. Get you thinking about your money, what you could be doing differently, and if you did, what those results would be. Now, that's my timer, which means I'm going to have to wrap up here. So The idea is we go through Impact, we go through Pulse, which is a quick assessment, and then 4 online workshops where we share with you the most important ideas that you can be using to accelerate your financial success. And then when you're completed with those 4 workshops, you end up with a live full-day event at the end of the quarter where we're inviting all of the companies to participate. So my call to action today is that each of you who says you want to make next year a better year ever, show your support. Say, I'm going to do this, take the 30-day challenge, or if you represent a company and you want to bring us in to motivate and empower your employees, we're happy to do that. Now again, by show of hands, how many of you want to make next year a whole lot better than last year? Raise your hand and say, oh yeah! Oh yeah! All right. What I'd like you to do is fill out your forms where we're going to break for the next speaker, but put your name on the form and then check the box that says, yes, I want to take the 30-day challenge. That's my presentation, Financial Fundamentals, Statewide Financial Awareness and Empowerment Campaign. We're launching the 30-day challenge in 2016. We'd like you all to support. Thank you, guys.
Wow, give it up for Scott.